all good to hear. Wow. Right. Well, welcome everybody to the first ever monthly free coaching session that has now started in 2022. So thank you everyone for joining, for coming along, for submitting your questions in advance. I was saying we had over 25 questions submitted in advance. But the way I'm going to run this is I am going to get to the questions for people that are here in attendance first, and then I will record some of the other ones, and if anyone else joins in at the end, we can also cover their questions. If you've got any questions at all as we go into the chat box when it's your question. If you just bring yourself off mute, and we can chat through, kind of dig into it a little bit more if we need to as well. Everyone good with that? Just give me a yes. Yep, brilliant. Fab. Okay, so Hannah was here first, so we're going to get to Hannah's question first. So Hannah, just give us a little overview, just for everyone that's joined, about your business, how new your business is, and what your question is.
Yes, I think I submitted mine quite a while ago, so I'm trying to remember it specifically.
I've got it here. I have the question here. Yeah, give us the overview of your business then.
Hi everyone, I'm Hannah. I'm a fairly new in the coaching kind of world. I'm an anxiety coach, and I help people reduce their anxiety or learn to cope with their anxiety a little bit better using my experience. I'm an anxiety sufferer and have been for years, and how I've learned through my own journey, and then taking all of the coaching tools and qualifications and bits and bobs that I've gathered along the way as well to kind of put that all together to help people who are a little bit like me, really, who just want to feel a little bit better and take back control a little bit more of their anxiety and reduce it, and be a bit happier. So that's kind of a bit of a rundown of the business. I had a business previously before this that was in the sort of fitness industry. That's kind of partly of my background. Wasn't right for me, didn't sit well, wasn't aligned with what I really wanted, because I kind of wanted to be doing what I was doing now. So I ended that at the end of last year, and it was very heavily on social media, the last business, and I really didn't enjoy it. I didn't get a lot from it at all. I didn't get many clients from it, and I just didn't get much from kind of pushing it constantly on social media, and became more worrying about content rather than actually coaching people and doing what I wanted to do. So yeah, I think my question was along the lines of how to kind of help market myself and kind of grow my audience without using social media as quite a new business.
Sure. So I've got your question here. You said, is it a good idea to have some social media presence when starting out to build a small audience, or can you start from the get-go with no social media? If so, how? So my first question is, are you just using social media at the moment? Has that been your main marketing platform?
No, I've got a blog. I've started a blog weekly, and I've got an email list, a small email list.
Okay. So. Wow. And is the email list been built via social media so far?
A little bit from the kind of past, and some of the people have kind of stayed with me because they've been interested in what I'm now doing now, sure. Sort of thing.
Okay. New. Yeah, if I'm looking to the side, it's because I've got your questions and bits here from your forms. So the answer to your question in a short, succinct way is no, you do not need to have social media to start your business. And I will go into why that's the reason. You are going to spend a lot of time in terms of having a group, as you said earlier on when we were chatting before everyone else came on, creating content, creating that community, having to invest a lot of time in that community, in that group. And as we know now, the algorithm, the reach is really very, very poor on social media for organic content. So you are going to be having to put out a lot of content and show up a lot in Facebook, if that's where you're going to be, to actually compete and have any chance of kind of having that content regularly seen. And if we think about it, the way people's behavior is now, people are saturated with with Facebook groups, and I was chatting to my own coaching community for Momentum this morning, and they were saying that people just are not joining groups anymore. People are tired by them, they are exhausted, and they're exhausting to run. So what I would say is from the get-go, why do we create Facebook groups and communities for connection. That's why we originally started, you know, when Facebook groups were great, it's because people wanted that connection with other people and they were working that way. Now there's just a lot of noise. So how can we connect with people in a different way? So what I would suggest is, where are your people? Where are your, you said obviously anxiety sufferers. So my question is, let's delve a little bit deeper and get a bit clearer on that niche, because there's a lot of people. There are entrepreneurs who suffer anxiety. There are people's abuse sufferers who are, you know, suffer with anxiety. There are school students, you know, university students. So really kind of honing in on specifically who you want to work with around anxiety, what demographic, what psychographics, and also, you know, what, when you say reduce anxiety, to what end, you know, how's that going to impact on their life? So what's that tangible outcome? Is it so they can actually go to work? Is it so that they can be present with their children? Or, you know, what are those reasons? So the first thing is going to be really getting clear on that, because once you're clear on that, then you're going to go, okay, where are my people already hanging out? Because they will be somewhere. So if they're university students, going to be in university kind of groups. If they are mums with anxiety, you know, they're going to be maybe in like postnatal mum groups or wherever it might be. So once you've got that, you're going to start getting an idea of where to go and connect with your people. It could be things they read, it could be shops they already go and purchase things from. You know, these can be online or physical businesses. So what you want to do then is start connecting with the people that run these communities, so like these leaders, these hub leaders. And we want to work with people where it's not competitive, so it's a complementary service to what they're already offering. Okay. And so by approaching them, then you can go in and suggest maybe doing workshops, going to do talks with a freebie, a lead magnet that's then going to help signpost people into your email list. But make sure again that that lead magnet is so enticing for your specific client's needs. So that's why I was saying be really specific. Who is this, you know, who are these anxiety sufferers? You know, who is it specifically? Because we want this lead magnet to speak to them where they're like, heck, I can't say no to that. It's irresistible. So that would be the way to do it. And, you know, that is achieving what you're ultimately trying to do with social media, but without the huge time commitment of creating this constant churn of content. You know, email your list twice a week, create you're blogging, you know, obviously blogs, really want to work on search engine optimized blogs, because blogs are lovely. They're great if you've got people coming to your website, but actually if you want to use blogs as a tool to grow your audience through search engines, then you need to make sure that they are ranking. So that's going to come through keyword search, which you can use Ubersuggest to put in titles, ideas, competitors, to see what blog titles are going to be the ones that rank. Because we need your blogs to be ranking in Google in spots 1 to 3 to really get hit clicks on them. Mm-hmm. How's that?
Great. Yeah, no, that's lovely. I've made lots of notes. Thank you.
Great stuff. I'll send this out on replay anyway, guys. So you'll get this if you need to go back. So we'll talk fast to make sure I get through everything. So Samantha, have you got a question? I'm just seeing if you've got one. I've got a list here. Just trying to find your question. Find you. Did you submit a question?
I did, but I did it via email because I couldn't.
Oh, you did. That's right. I knew I'd seen a question. Yeah. Can you remember your question?
It's just that something, I guess, which is really broad, and maybe I'm overcomplicating. My ideal student, my ideal customer, client.
Yeah.
I just feel a bit bamboozled by it all in terms of what I'm doing now. When I was doing the coaching, it was quite clear. Like I was looking at a woman, I was helping her with this, this and that. Now it's, well, I've got a training academy that is for men and women.
Yeah. And
I don't know where to kind of, like with my advertising and things, I'm all over the place, getting out there everywhere.
Mhm.
but I want to be able to say, hey, this is where I'm concentrating, but I need to know who I'm serving for me to do that, I'm guessing.
So who do you want to serve is the first thing. Who do you enjoy working with? That needs to be the first thing. If you could only work with a certain type of person every single day, and that was the person, who brings you the most joy and why?
okay.
So dig into the who and the why. Why do they bring you joy? Because then when you start digging into the why that person, is it because they've got similar lifestyle to you? Is it that they've got similar interests to you, similar like points of view and beliefs, you know? So we start to build out what we call the psychographics then, because actually communities and people are built not around demographics. So when people are like, do your ideal client avatar, what car do they drive?
Yeah.
You know, it's psychographics. So actually, what are their beliefs? Yeah. What, you know, so Doctor Who fans is a great one. So you know, if are they all believers in fans of Doctor Who? That's going to be a really diverse demographic group. And yeah, I used this the other week as an example. So parents of children with autism, for example, autism support groups, like my friend is part of, the demographics of the parents in there are wildly diverse. You can have affluent, you know, multi six figures people, to people who are on government sort of funded support. So it can differ wildly, but actually what is the psychographic? You know, they've got the same shared interest that they want the best for their children have got autism. So think about what those things are when you think about who are they, what do they like, what are their interests, and try and narrow it down. And then when you think about interests and those psychographics, that will then start to help you figure out where they're already hanging out, where they're already, you know, engaging. And what communities, what services, what are they reading, what are they listening to, what are they buying, where are they going? And then you've got a place to start to look at building out connections with.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, it's where I need to start, because that's the starting point, isn't it?
Start at the beginning. Yeah.
It's the foundation. Yeah.
And excellent. You know, before you try and create lead magnets, email, like welcome sequences, you know, we do this in Momentum. I was just chatting to one of my clients today, and I just said, just go back and revisit some of that earlier stuff before you move on to this, because she's just, you know, it is evolving, and the more people you work with, the more it will evolve, the more conversations you have, the more it will evolve, because you get more data, and that's fine. But we need to get something firm to begin with. And then we want you to validate that. So, you know, come up with, this is, you know, you've got your offer, you've done it that way around, but you want to test it with these people. Is this what they need? Is it giving them the results, the benefits that they want? So we kind of need to do the test.
For me, I did the 1 week trained to be a tarot reader course. And on that course, we had men and women. Hadn't worked with men for a long time. Forgot how much I enjoyed working with men as well. And yeah, I got excellent feedback from that. So I thought, right, I must be doing something right in terms of who I'm drawing to me, if that makes sense. Yeah. But I feel like I'm not consciously aware fully of who the person is, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. You could always hop on some market research calls with those people. Yeah. Okay. Find out, you know, like what's going on for them right now, what their current situation is, what do they want, what are the challenges they've got from like getting there, what are the things that would help, you know, make them want to do your program, your course. And then you can dig into some more of the things, you know, what are the common things, you might find some commonalities between them.
Yeah, excellent, brilliant, thank you.
Pleasure. Okay, who was next? Was it Kira? Next, Kira, did you have a question?
Yeah. Do you have it in front of you?
I do. I've seen your name on the list. Bear with me.
It was.
Yeah, I've got it here. Bear with.
It was that I have about 3,000 people on Instagram at the moment. I haven't used it much for the last year because I don't want to, but my tendency would want to be to just like poof, vanish out of thin air. But I should probably transition more gradually off it. So do you have advice about how to transition?
I do. I've got a couple of questions for you first. So how engaged is that audience on Instagram? so these, you know, you might have the answers for these now, you might want to go away and look at these. So how engaged are they? How much revenue are you getting from your Instagram audience at the moment, say in the last 3 to 6 months? Do you know?
Well, yeah, like if I post, like, I mean, I have a good community there, like they're active people who reply and comment and, you know, send me DMs. Like I genuinely feel a connection to the people there. And, you know, not everyone obviously, but there's a core kind of gang. And, you know, yeah, at the beginning, all of my clients came from Instagram, but now I've thankfully diversified that. So it's not just one place, you know. So yeah, let me think. Yeah, some people are still kind of finding me there, so yeah, that's a good question.
And so you say you've diversified, what other channels do you have for people to connect with you now?
Yeah, like thankfully my website has started to, you know, show up in search, so that's good. And also I am a mentor with as a kind of a marketing business strategy mentor with a government body that is for new business owners, or for small business owners in 5 kind of cities or counties in Ireland. So that has sent me some people too, which is nice.
That's brilliant.
And word of mouth, I suppose, as well, because I've been doing this for a little while.
That's great. Okay, so to transition off, so the first things, as I said, would be look at how much business you're getting, how much revenue you're getting through Instagram at the moment. How many of those people are on your email list? So if you're thinking, I want to transition off, I would start running some really targeted focus, you know, whether it's we want to drive people to some workshops, some like webinars, or if you want to get them into your lead magnet. So just different ways of engaging people to bring them off Instagram to engage with you off Instagram, and get them onto that email list. And then think about how you want to engage with them. If you feel it's a really great sense of community, is that through your email list? Do you want to create a community off Instagram? So there are different networks that you can utilize. You know, it depends what you want to do with that audience that are on Instagram. Is it that you want them in your email list? Is it that you want to keep a community?
Okay, yeah, great. Yeah, I would like to. It's just that my energy was previously going into Instagram, so I need, once I channel that more, you know, into the email list, I feel like it'll be more fun there, you know.
Absolutely, and there's so much you can do, and obviously with the iOS changes that came in last September, you know, adding more click-throughs, so whether that is like YouTube videos, podcast links, ways where you can actually actively, you know, be more visible to your audience beyond just the written word, is great as well. It still keeps that sort of personal connection that you get through the likes of like Instagram stories and IGTVs and reels and things. So you can still add, you know, elements of those things for people to click through, so you can give that information in different ways, and that's a really good metric then to see how engaged your email list is as well.
Yeah, that's really great. Thanks, Viv.
But you'll find, I know, you know, from my own experience, that coming away from, you will have so much more energy that actually, you know, suddenly emailing your list twice a week and doing other things, you know, I create a podcast and everything, will be so much more doable if you put your energy in the place that it wants to be. And those loyal people that are engaged in that community, they're the ones that you want to reach out to on DMs and say, hey, I'm leaving. You just keep saying, I'm moving away from Instagram. If you want to be, you know, come with me, follow me, here's some free stuff for you that's going to get you on my list, blah, blah. You know, just engage with those that way, because there will be that loyal following that will want to come with you. So it's just making sure they know you're going, because obviously with the algorithm, they're not going to see every single post. So just give yourself a time frame, whether it be like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and do an exit plan over that time.
Yeah, I'll definitely do the DMs. I haven't really thought, well, I hadn't, it's like I haven't fully had the courage to do it yet, you know. So I think that's why I'm here as well. So I'll just bolster my ideas together and go for it. So thank you.
And you're not selling, it's not sleazy, it's not pushy in the DMs, it's just saying, hey, I'm not going to be here anymore, I'm moving away. I know we've kind of, you've interacted a lot, we've kind of DM'd in the past, it would be great to sort of bring you with me. I'd love to offer you, come along to this free thing, or here's a free resource I've created that I'd love to get you in on, or just come on over, let me know if you want to be signed up to my email list, just so we can keep in touch.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Yeah.
Pleasure. But it's doable. Don't get like hung up on the vanity metrics of 3,000 Instagram followers, because as you say, there'll be a small cohort in there that will be the loyal people who are those that are going to buy from you at some point, hopefully in the future. Okay, Miriam, let's just, in fact, sorry, Miriam, I'll come to you in a minute. I think Nicolette, did you hop in? You came in next, didn't you?
Oh yeah, but I think my question, I've answered it myself, because it was about doing my website and putting
you did
combining things.
You did. I wrote, you've answered your own question, and I think you emailed me, didn't you, saying that?
Yeah.
So,
And I've done it.
Great. Yes. So is there any other way that you need support?
Well, maybe similar to the Instagram one, I've actually got a meetup group, and
Lovely.
I'm not engaging in it a lot because I had to sort of put things on hold last year, and it renews every 6 months, and I sort of caught myself out, and it renewed without me stopping it. So my 6 months goes up to March, and I'm thinking I just don't think I'm going to get revenue. I don't think people are expecting to pay very much on there. I think, Eventbrite more for events and stuff. So I'm just sort of making notes about, the lady before about Instagram, of doing similar things, saying to them, I'm going to stop this in March, and getting them onto my mailing list as well.
Yeah. Do it. I mean, people who are interested in you, who like your style, will come over, will follow you. You may want to incentivize it with something, as I say, that like entices them over. I'm doing a free workshop, I'm doing a on such and such that's relevant to your community, and it's a great way to kind of bring them over as well, so they're kind of like, oh, I still get so much value in this new place as I may have done in this previous platform. So yeah.
But yeah, so I'm and for social media, I think I quite like being on LinkedIn, because I think I stand out more for what I do. But I'm also very visual, and I'm torn a bit sometimes towards Instagram. But there's loads of other nature. I do nature connection stuff. There's loads of other people there, and I don't know. I haven't been on there for ages though, so I'm like, is it even worth it? Is it even worth going back?
So I'm visual because I used to be a photographer, so I loved Instagram for the visual aspect of it. But what I say about social media is just let's flip our thinking about how we use social media. So right now, most people are going to social media thinking, right, I'm going to set up a social media group, account, whatever, and I'm going to try and find people on Instagram, on Facebook, and bring them and entice them to come and follow me. Yes, it's all about followers. Whereas actually, if we find our people off social media, and kind of say, come into my world, we can curate the experience by bringing them into a welcome sequence. So we curate that journey. Whereas if they just join us on Instagram, they kind of pop in midway through, they're not kind of getting that welcome, that journey, that introduction that we want. But we can then bring them and say, we can use our social media then as a place where we can nurture people, or, so somebody becomes aware of you, they go and check out your website because someone recommended you. They can do the same with your Instagram. So it's visual, you've got all that visual stuff on there. It's like your shop window. But it doesn't mean we're having to try and grow our audience there. And, because again, with the algorithm, and people are following so many people on Instagram, that how do we stand out? Whereas actually, if we create a connection by speaking in a group, or connecting with them elsewhere, it's a more sort of personal, intimate connection, then they're more likely to actually engage with our content rather than just kind of accumulating a follower that never interacts with us.
Yes, I see what you mean. Yes, I'm just sort of thinking about it, really.
Yeah.
But trying to consolidate, where I put my time. Can't do it.
No, and I think that's it. If you stop thinking about utilizing Instagram as a place to try and grow the audience on there to then try and get them onto your email list and grow the email list and then use your Instagram. You don't have to then be posting multiple times a day, or, you know, creating reels, creating IGTVs, creating stories, you know, and all the things that you need to create to actually have any chance of you know, kind of competing with the algorithm. It means that actually this is just a place where if you want to post 2 or 3 posts a week on your grid, pop a couple of stories, or whatever that feels good to you, you do it more from a feel good way, that people can kind of see what you're doing. If they want to come in and check you out, it's like your shop front that you keep dressed, but it's not actually, you know, you're standing out saying, hi, come into my shop somewhere else.
Yes, yeah. Okay, that's great. Thank you. Thanks so
Pleasure.
much.
Great to meet you. Pamela, did you say you had a question, or did you were coming to?
Didn't have a question, but actually this has just given me a lot of inspiration for where I need to be going, so it's okay.
Good, I'm really glad. Really glad. Cool. Miriam, let's move on to your question.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
I'm here. You're looking at my question.
I'm just looking for your question now. Bear with me. I've seen it in my list. There we go. Just putting green so I can see it. Okay, so your question was, not sure what my question will be at the time. So you were wondering about setting up basic social media profile and presences so that if someone looked for you, they could find you even if you weren't actively posting. Excuse me. You have a very small niche target market and there is significant presence on Instagram, Facebook and LinkedIn. So you feel it'd be good to have something there, kind of like a website, and you want my thoughts on that. Is that still your question, or has it evolved or changed? Because I know that was a while ago.
I guess so. I was also thinking in terms of, I do want my main traffic driver, I guess. I'm planning on starting a podcast and also pitching to do podcast interviews. And so it seems like, you know, when you go on someone else's podcast, the like social, like the etiquette is kind of like, and I'm going to post on my social media that I have been on your podcast. So I was just, you know, wondering about that. And also if I want to get people to come onto my podcast, having a social media, you know, presence for that podcast just seems to be like what is expected and part of why someone would invest their time in coming onto a podcast. So yeah, I just wanted thoughts on all that.
Okay, let's go with the podcast bit first because that was kind of the most relevant. So you don't need to have social. It's, you know, this is you know, our belief, the way we have been conditioned to believe. And I was having a chat with someone who's coming on my podcast this morning, and he was saying, you know, we are so conditioned to believe it's the only way. What guests are going to be interested in is, do you have an audience or a way of connecting with your audience to say, I was on this podcast? You know, so can you email your list and say, hey, I did this amazing episode. Can you write a blog post and share that with your email list? With, you know, if it's can you like search engine optimize that, if you can think about what a great keyword title would be, so that is eventually going to be showing up for them. So, you know, thinking about ways to drive traffic. I'm just looking at your niche. So would this be for the relationship work or the artist work?
The relationship.
The relationship, yeah. So and so how big, you've got an email list already of around 500. So I think, do you know how engaged that list
My
is?
email list, I don't even remember what I wrote. My email list, okay, so this is like kind of a new career for me-ish. I was a writer for many, many years, and my niche is in the Orthodox Jewish community.
Yeah.
And so I was a writer in like the main magazines for, I don't know how many years. And so I do have, my email list is with people who signed up for my writing. And since it's been several years since I've been writing, it's just been quiet. But there are, and obviously not everyone on that list is going to be interested in relationship coaching, but anyone, it's the right, like I have a connection with them already. And yeah, so I don't know how many people, once I actually start sending out emails, are going to want to stay on my list, but I have something.
Okay. It's about then obviously building that list, and I'm assuming that's what the guesting on other people's podcasts is about, is
Yeah.
to try and build that list from there. Don't start too big with the podcast. I think a lot of people are like, you know, I'm going to go in right at the top, you know, with like Marie Forleo's and the equivalents, and you know, and if you start, you know, start smaller. So if you think somebody's got a smaller podcast, but actually they've got, you know, an engaged audience of 200 people like downloading, listening, well, actually, you know, if you get a small number of those coming onto your email list, and you can then promote and talk about that in other ways, maybe there's ways to collaborate on projects. It's not just about promoting their podcasts. Yeah, it actually is. There other ways that you could work together, develop partnerships, and you know, they need, remember that you're bringing value beyond just downloads in terms of, you know, extra downloads from your promotion. They want to add value to their audience by bringing in guest experts who can talk about something that they don't have the depth of experience on, and the wealth of experience on. So actually you bring something even without an audience, and that's okay. But that, you know, there will be people that say no, but there will be people that are like, that's absolutely fine, because actually I'm growing my audience. I have people, so I can kind of take guests who haven't maybe got a massive audience. But there will be a lot of podcast hosts who don't ask for your audience size.
Right.
So don't worry hugely about that at this stage. And I don't think the social media is a necessity. As I say, if you can say, I'm going to promote to my email list, I'm going to write about it in a blog, I'm going to, you know, share that in other ways. Okay. And then the other one, in terms of social media, should you have a presence, just like a business card? I absolutely think sort of having a digital business card. So I decided when I left social media to keep my profiles, but it says I'm not on social media, but you can connect with me here. So it signposts people. I know Leonie Dawson, she's an Australian entrepreneur. She does have her profiles. Greg Faxon, who I had on the podcast, he left social media about a year ago, and he deleted all of his profiles. Bradley Morris from, I think, Magic Media, I think he has no profiles at all. So you can go or either way. It's your choice on that. It's whether you kind of, it depends what your reasons for wanting to leave social media are. Is it that it just doesn't bring you kind of joy and satisfaction being there? In which case you kind of might say, well, it's okay, I'm just going to put a big like billboard up saying, this is where I am, come hang out with me here. Or is it actually you despise everything that social media stands for, and you kind of don't want anything to do with it, and therefore you want to delete your profiles and have your privacy back? You don't want them to have that access to that information and that data on you. So it depends which camp you're in as to whether you want to keep that digital kind of business card.
Yeah, I think it's more the first. I just find it incredibly draining, and
yes,
it's not like, it doesn't feel real, and yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that help? Anything
Yeah,
else?
thank you.
Brilliant. Great to meet you as well. Good luck with it. Cool. Right, I'm going to fire through just a few more of these questions that we've got, which are not specific to anyone here. So guys, if you want to stay on, please feel free. These might be relevant to you, they may not. I had one here from Julia McHugh. Hello, Julia, if you're watching on replay. What tips do you have for pivoting a niche after discovering one that aligns to your purpose? And Julia helps equestrian women seize real opportunities to be successful. So this is a difficult one without Julia being on. So I just wanted to ask and qualify with Julia. Is it still working with the same people, with different types of challenges, but it's the same people, or is it an entirely new audience, new niche in that sense? What I would say is, if it's the latter, I would build, develop and grow that that new niche, that audience, alongside the other one if cash flow and income is an issue. If it's not an issue and it's a totally different audience, then I would go back and start from scratch and build that alongside. I don't know, say whether it's full-time job or still, because I know Julia used to be employed 4 days a week, I think it was. So yeah, so it would really depend, but if it's the same people, then you've already got them in the audience, you've already got kind of some of the legwork done. Just let them know that you're pivoting, what this new thing is, get them to raise their hands, who's interested, create a new lead magnet that's relevant. Again, before you create it, just see you later, Pamela, bye Miriam, bye Kira. So yeah, just get them to raise their hand before you create stuff to kind of say, yeah, this is for me, if it's the same audience. Who else have we got? I have from Aisha or Aishi, essential marketing techniques for freelancing. So what we had here was, what are the essential marketing techniques for freelancing? So it's connections, and this applies to many people who've submitted questions. Word of mouth is going to be huge. So look for retainer clients when you're freelancing, if possible. So who can you connect with as and this is freelance SEO copywriting. So who can you connect with? Podcasters, bloggers, so people who want to have SEO optimized blogs, podcasts, etc., but don't have the time or skill or inclination to do that. So find these people, find where these kind of coaches or podcasters, bloggers might be, who want help with the search engine optimization and copywriting. So where are they? Just figure out where they're hanging out, as we've touched on previously in this session. Amanda, moving into an automated system, how to make the transition and what tools to use. Currently do most things manually. So I just said here, because I'm not sure specifically what you're looking at here, Amanda, but I think you do yoga. Yes, somatic-based movement. I said look at Dubsado for things like client automations, like contracts, workflows, chasing invoices, everything you can do within Dubsado. Again, depending on how people are, like a book-in, is it by class, is it on sort of programs over 3 months, do they need contracts? So Dubsado would be one that I recommend for people like coaches. If it's more like a pay per class, then it might be something different. So again, I'd need to kind of chat to you about that. Asana, great for things like task management. ClickUps I use. If it's emails, so again, automations and workflows for welcome sequences once people have opted in to your freebies, so you can have Active Campaign, Drip. So it just depends, Amanda, on what things you are looking to automate. So again, come back to me or Bob on the next coaching call and we can chat that through more. Nina, again, going to struggle to answer yours without being able to answer her question, have her on the call. It was about making money with affiliate marketing. The question I had was, is this as an affiliate for other people, Nina, or is this with you finding people to be affiliates for your programs? So I just needed to understand which one you were looking at, but it would be registering with those businesses that you want to be an affiliate for. That's how you make money as an affiliate. You register with them. So for example, there are, for example, who is it? I'm with Thrivecart. There's loads of people that I use for my own business who I can set up an affiliate link with, and I can drop their names in blogs and things. Dubsado, yeah, got links there, Nicola. Loads and loads and loads of places that I use that I have an affiliate link with. And so if I wanted to make money, I can talk about them on my podcast, say, oh, they're amazing. I could utilize and talk about them in blog posts. I could talk about them in emails, my favorite resources, by popping in that affiliate code. So if anyone wants to then go and check them out, they can click on those links and it would then give me a commission if they signed up. So that's how to make money out of affiliate resources. Links, sorry, for other people. You could do that with other people's group programs, so on and so forth, by asking if they work with affiliates. and becoming an affiliate, you would need your own audience to then sell to. So that would be the key thing there. Who are your people? Maybe you blog about things and you have really top performing search engine optimized blogs like we've talked about. That is a way to make money. If it's the other way and that you are looking to have people be affiliates for your business, obviously you make money by them. They sell your services on your behalf, so you pay them a percentage and a commission, but it brings more money in for you if they actually market and sell for you. Mel's question from More Organized Limited. This came up twice. Two different people had similar question. I need to find my motivation again. 2020 and 2021 were so focused on survival. And, you know, Mel feels like they've lost their way and need to get motivated to move forward and grow the business. So my question again will be, Mel, is grow business, is that code for get more clients? Or is that code, you know, what is that code for? It wasn't clear what you were saying when you say grow the business. I'm going to assume it means you want to get more clients and bring in a more steady income stream. So if you have clients now, Mel, I want to ask, where are they coming from? Is it effective? Can you do more of that? So one of my clients today in our group program, Momentum, she was saying she's just gone and done workshops in a couple of groups and has managed to fill a number of spaces on her workshop that she was running today, which was fantastic. So she knows like what's working for her is doing that speaking. So yeah, so think about where are they coming from? Do you need more clients? A bigger audience? What is it that you are looking for? Do you need to just re-engage with your existing audience? Have you gone quiet on them? So you need to kind of identify more around what it is in terms of you're looking to do with moving the business forward and getting that motivation. But I would say if you're struggling to be motivated, it's because you're not sure what you actually need to do. So getting that clarity on what that first next step is going to be clear. Okay, it's going to be key and critical for you. But again, Mel, feel free to come back and just give me a bit more data on that one. Hannah, we've done your question. So Susie, ThinkWise Psychological Wellbeing. What is the best way to grow an email list quickly with appropriate clients? Which was great that it was on appropriate clients so quickly. You need to get a lead magnet together that gets people raising their hands, that is connected to your core offer. I want you to focus on one core offer or service, depending on what you do. Because if we have too many different things, we don't actually know what we're trying to sell people into. So one core thing, one lead magnet. But before you create the lead magnet, like I said earlier, I want you to speak to your current audience or community or a group that you're in if you don't have your own audience yet, and just say, I'm creating this thing on, you know, and what is that topic? What is it that people want? What is that big result that they want, that they're looking for, that transformation potentially? What's the benefits they're looking for? What is the problems, that the challenges they're having? There's different ways to create lead magnets, which I'm not going to have time to go into in here today. But basically, we want to validate it before we create it. Always validate, then create, because actually we could spend hours creating an amazing lead magnet, but nobody wants it. So if it's the right people, they're going to show their hands, show interest, and then we've already got people out there that we can then connect with and say, hey, a week later, I've now created my thing. Here it is. And you can start conversations with people around that then. So depending what you do. So you think you've got early mental health support for children and families. So you could start a conversation then with somebody. Hey, yeah, here's the link. Just wondering, you know, what it is, like how old your children are, or whatever it might be. So that starts a conversation going, and then from that conversation, you could try and direct them onto a call. Blogging. So Krista, finding the time for business when working full time. Okay. Allocate some time. What can you commit that isn't going to burn you out? Is it 1 hour a day? If it's 1 hour a day, it's 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. Make sure you take a day off, at least 1 day off a week. That is not business. No thinking about business, totally doing something different. No reading self-development businessy books, anything like that. You need to give your brain downtime. Okay, it's the only way that you will it will be sustainable alongside a full-time job. That also goes if you work fully within your business as well. You need to make sure you have downtime. So if it's 1 hour a day, set yourself what is the key thing that's going to move the needle in my business. The key thing that's always going to move the needle in the business is getting clients. How do I get clients? I need to have conversations. How do I get to have conversations? Well, again, it's getting into communities with people. So is that going in and doing workshops? What is the best way for you with your business of doing that? I don't know what systems you've already got in place, but yeah, conversations and connections. If it's brand spanking new business, speak to, email your friends, email your list, let people know what you're doing, see if they've got any connections. Always, this is what I'm doing, who do you know that might know somebody who's interested in this, who might be able to help me figure out where my people are hanging out. I'm speeding up because I know I've got about 10 minutes to go. Michelle, I need to move away from client work and build up my template business, but I still have a small email list. What would you recommend to help me make this transition to get some income in the door? If client work is paying, I would continue with that if that is something that you can do. If circumstances are preventing that, then what I would say is the fastest way is going to be creating some partnerships. So partnerships with people who this would be a complementary service to what they already offer. It's going to be connect. Absolutely is the way. Stacey Wilkes, knowing where to start and getting visible off social media. Not quite a question, but I get what you're saying, Stacey. So first question is, have you really honed in on your niche? Do you know who your people are? You said you help women become unstuck and live a life they love. So my thoughts here are, that's quite a broad niche. What type of women would be the question? Professional, corporate, high achievers? Are they stay-at-home moms? Are they menopausal women? Who are these women? Why are they stuck? What is stuck? And what is a life they love? Okay, how is that measurable? The result needs to be measurable by some way. So as I said to Hannah earlier on, if it's anxiety, what does that mean if they reduce that anxiety? Does it mean they can leave the house? Does it mean they can keep their job? Does it mean their relationship stays? So what is it for you? The life they love, how would they know? Because obviously everyone's interpretation of loving life is very different. So how would someone connect with that? So knowing where to start and get visible off social media, the first thing is always the niche. So who are they? So once you've really honed in on who they are, you'll be able to start to think about where they are, where they're already hanging out, where they're already connected with. Okay, and then start finding ways to connect with those hubs, those communities, those people who are running groups, who are running community centres. Could be doctor surgeries, whatever it might be for your people. It could be mums groups. So a great one is an example is my friend Summer. She's a photographer and she does newborn photography. Great thing for her is she connected with baby and toddler sense groups. It's a big national franchise, and she is the photographer for several districts, and so goes in. It's an exclusive kind of contract for her, and she pays them something like 20% commission for everything she sells, but it's a fantastic partnership. And so she then fills her studio box. She goes in and does pretty cheap shoots, but makes a fortune in baby sensory classes. But then she's raised awareness and visibility, and she's exposed to all these new families who then go, oh, well, actually, it'd be great to have a sibling shoot. It'd be great to have a shoot when dad's not at work, or whoever, or with the grandparents. or, you know, whatever it might be. So then they go and book into her studio. So just think about, where are these people? Who could you connect with? Where are they already going? Help women create intimacy in their marriage. So thinking of pivoting your business, you want to find the right niche in the marriage niche that you have confidence in teaching. Okay, so the questions here again, without having Kofo on, is what do they want? What do you want to be known for? What can you stand on stage and speak about now without any kind of prior notice given to you? Because that's going to help you find the right niche. And I think this is obviously American, because we've got niche here. Niche or niche. What are you really confident about? What are you passionate about? What could you just stand up and talk about for ages? Because that is going to help you find the right niche. But also, who are the people you enjoy working with? Oh, maybe this wasn't Julia's question before. I thought it said Julia, and maybe it was somebody else. Okay, Julia, I thought this was you earlier, but I may have answered someone else's question. Your business is part-time and you have a salaried job 4 days a week. How do I grow my business and not get burnt out? Okay, a couple of things here, Julia. Option 1, charge more for what you're doing, take on less clients. Option 2, start thinking about some long-term lead generation strategies if it's that the lead gen is taking a lot of your time, that drive traffic to you. So again, like search engine optimized blogs, podcasts, so on and so forth. You could use paid ads if you're on social media and you want to use social media. You could use Google paid ads. You could use ads on podcasts. You could look at affiliate options, so setting up an affiliate referral scheme. Can you outsource stuff to a VA? If it's that you have too much client work, is it time to think about moving to a group program to scale? There's going to be a point where you have to decide where you want to go and when you want to go all in, or can you reduce your days at your day job, and slowly do that transition. But again, without having you on the call, Julia, it's difficult to to go into details because I'm not sure which elements you're struggling with. But again, rest days are important as much as we're resistant to rest days because we just want to grow our businesses alongside full-time jobs. That rest time is important for our creative brains and also to avoid burnout, because you are your business. And if you don't look after yourself and your health first and foremost, and, you know, and I am the worst, I used to be the worst culprit, starting my first 7-figure business in my 20s. And I worked 80-hour weeks. My husband used to joke that I took my lunch, packed lunch for a day out, and then I bring it home again uneaten at the end of the day. It was literally taking it for a day trip. And I didn't self-care, and I would burn out every 3 months. I'd be ill for about a week because I didn't self-care. And when you're your business, you know, that's a big amount of time out, and you can end up, you know, so we need to protect ourselves. Michelle Hartwell, marketing on trust. Michelle's business is teaching coaches and holistic entrepreneurs the skills of organic business building without social media and through the power of relationships. Awesome, kindred spirit. So Michelle's question is, working alone is a challenge. How can I overcome the inertia that comes with that? There are a couple of things here. Get an accountability buddy. Definitely get an accountability buddy. Check in with them weekly, daily, fortnightly. You guys decide what works for you. Find someone that you really connect well with. It's often good to have someone who's at a similar point in their journey to you, so you kind of working at the same thing, at pace. You know, you're kind of at the same place within your business journey. Join a virtual working hub. There's one called coworkcrowd.com, which is fairly new, run by somebody called Angela Bryant, and I can't remember her colleague's name. And this is a co-work space. I think it's like $10 a month. And you log in so there's different time slots for different time zones in the world. You log in, you set the intention of the task you're going to do in that hour or 2 hour slot, and you get the work done. So you have that, so it stops that inertia. But I think an accountability buddy is great, or a community, a small community of people who you can connect with. And this is a great thing again with Momentum. Shameless plug moment. Momentum, my group program. We use Slack community. We connect on there. So you've got someone to kind of say, like one of my clients last week was saying, I'm really stuck. I just can't get myself going. I'm feeling overwhelmed with like personal stuff, all the personal jobs I've got to do. It's really impacting on me making progress in the business. And that's that, having a small community of people who know you can kind of really help, because people rally together. You've got that support for people to give you tips, advice, and sometimes you don't want advice. You just need to say, I'm having a really shitty day, and I just, you know, need to tell the world that I'm having a shit day, and this is why. And maybe it's because I'm on my period, and I want to hide under the duvet and watch Netflix and eat chocolates, and that's okay. Sometimes you need that. You feel like you need permission to do that guilt-free, and that's what that community is there for, or that accountability buddy. So I'd say accountability buddy, small community, or a co-working space. And you can get in person, you know, now COVID and global pandemics and the world starting to come back to, you know, to in-person connections, you can actually do co-working in person as well. So that could be something to look at. And again, another thing on the inertia that's come up a few times with people, do you know what your next step is? Do you know what you need to do? Because that inertia can come from not knowing what that next thing is. Yeah, so sometimes people go, well, I need to do my marketing. What do you mean by saying I need to do my marketing? Is that I need to write my one email to my list this week? Is it I need to write one blog post? Is it I need to record a podcast episode? Is it I just need to actually find one person to invite on my podcast, or one person whose group I can approach and say, can I speak? What is that one activity? Be really specific on what it is. Rita Brewer has said, I need help with my messaging to attract my ideal clients without getting social media burnout. Okay, so I think I've touched on this, Rita, earlier on, which is I was saying to Kira, which is flip the, I think it was to Kira, flip the way you're using social media. So use it as the place to nurture once you've brought people into your email list, to bring them into your list. Where are they already hanging out? Okay. Oh, it's past. I'm aware of that, guys. If anyone needs to go, I'm not sure how many more questions. Oh, I think we have got them all done. Just okay. Last one, Cherie. Your business is blogs that help ovarian cancer thrivers, and you're just starting. What's the best tool for staying consistent? Number one, know what's coming, what you need to do. What is that next action in a small, manageable step? So again, not just marketing, not just write a blog. Is the write a blog, I need to go and keyword research relevant blog topics? Is it that I need to go and decide what backlinks? Is it I need to put my plan my like core summaries of like the paragraphs, the key bullet points, you know, bullet point the key things I want to cover within that blog? So what is that thing? Let's break it down. And then stay consistent. I love time blocking. I have a color-coded time blocking sheet. I update it regularly as things change in life. And, you know, I time block it out. So I make sure that my calendar for people to book podcasts, strategy calls, coaching calls, like chats with me, I always make sure that they are within allocated time slots, so people can't just book in at any time, so I know I can have uninterrupted time. So time blocking is great, and just have set times for doing things if that works for you. Depends on your brain and how it's made up. I have a lot of clients who have ADHD, neurodiverse, and that doesn't always work for them, time blocking, because actually and energetically, but it's about really finding your pattern and your rhythm, but saying every week I'm committing to send that email. What are the non-negotiables every week? And that, I think, is everyone's questions answered. Whew, that was a speed through. So guys, thank you very, very, very much. I hope that has helped you all today. I really appreciate your contributions and questions, and I'm hoping to see more of you again next month with some more exciting, interesting questions. And I'd love to hear, guys, how you get on. I'd love to hear if what you implement and what action you've taken as a result of today's call. Thanks so much. Take care.